Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's ChrisXradio. ChrisXradio.
What we need right now is a clear message to the people of this country. This message must be read in every newspaper, heard on every radio, seen on every television. This message must resound throughout the entire intellect.
And now, your host.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Chris X.
Man, it's getting a little cray out there, a little cray-cray. Okay, it stays cray-cray out there. People are nuts. But that doesn't slow us down any. We're always dealing with crazy people. We're in radio, for Christ's sake. And good afternoon and welcome to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with Gary Bohemoth. That's right, Gary has assumed control of the airwaves. He'll maintain control here for the next couple hours as we come bearing that gift beyond price that is almost free, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you the spirit of talk radio, and we got a ton to get into today, and I do mean a ton. Andy Kahn, Director of Victim Services and Advocacy at Crime Stoppers of Houston, will join us here at the bottom of the hour. He's been up at the Capitol a lot lately, testifying, getting laws passed, doing what he can to try to stop the insanity of these Democrats allowing these murderers and bad people to be out of jail and go and kill people and, of course, create more victims that he has to try to help out. And I know he's done so for 30-plus years, so we'll get an update on that. And then also some of the crazy stuff that's just been going on. So, but I do believe he is headed up to the Capitol as we speak, so we will catch up with him here at the bottom of the hour in about 20 minutes or so. So stick around for that. You've got the anti-Elon Musk stuff. They outbid. How dare anyone attempt to try to just root out fraud and money waste? So we're all going to show up and protest Elon Musk. You think that's just natural? You think they're just doing that? They're just showing up just because they really hate him? Or do you think they're doing that because they're told to and they're paid to? I think we know that answer. We'll get into that. Also, Elon Musk, here's another thing why it's happening. You've got Doge is now going to look in the reasons why so many members of Congress suddenly become so rich, accumulating generational wealth over their years in government service off these salaries that, I mean, they're good salaries, but you don't become a, 285 millionaire when, or $549 million on congressional salary of $200,000 or $174,000 or whatever it may be. He's going to look into that. Okay, well, now watch all the Democrats lose their minds over that. Speaking of Musk, a wave of Tesla takedowns, protests targeting Elon Musk company swept the nation this weekend as part of supposedly a grassroots campaign against Musk and Doge and the Trump administration. Yeah, it's all grassroots. I mean, it is purely just grassroots, them going after calling Elon a Nazi. Yeah, no, don't doubt that. The headquarters for the Republican Party in New Mexico was targeted on Sunday in what is being called a deliberate act of arson, leaving the entryway to the building destroyed. No one was hurt. There was someone printed or spray painted, I guess, ICE, ICE equal KKK. Yeah, that's it. That's. Oh, man. These Democrats, they were so mad when the Republicans took their slaves away, and now they're taking their new slaves away. These Democrats get very, very mad. So they will, of course, call them what they actually are, because the Democrats were the party of KKK, so the Ku Klux Klan. Trump deports more gang members, including child rapists, to El Salvador. Has any judge jumped in and tried to stop that one? No, but they will. What was it, 4 more cases, something like that, have been issued to Judge Boasberg? I like how somehow just, it's luck of the draw. All of these cases regarding Trump get thrown to these Trump-hating, dirtbag leftist judges. Boy, the The luster on judges is gone, isn't it, folks? They don't seem to care as much about the law as they do about their political activism these days. Also, with with tax day is just a little less than 2 weeks away, Jackson Hewitt Tax Services has been caught handing out flyers in New York City, allegedly advising illegal aliens on how to get up to $14,000 in tax refunds from the IRS. One of our friends of the show, independent journalist Savannah Hernandez, has apparently popped Jackson Hewitt, caught him handing this out. We'll dig into that a little later. And they interviewed astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. They praised Elon Musk and Donald Trump for the rescue, but you know what they didn't do? They did not deny the Biden administration was to blame for their delayed return. So we can get into that as well. But, of course, first and foremost, as you know, I mentioned something last week. Well, last week isn't the only time. Coming up here in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from, well, no, it's less than 2 weeks. Is it less than 2? It is. Oh, my God, I cannot believe we're already almost there. I cannot believe it is time for another pizza party. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, another pizza party coming up. Our next pizza party is now set for Friday, April 11th. That's not this coming Friday, but the following. From 3 to 5 p.m. at Russo's Pizzeria, located at 5727 Westheimer at Chimney Rock. Join us for our Taxation is Theft pizza party. We're going to have free pizza for everyone. There'll be fun. There'll be socializing. If you want to attend, I'm already getting people emailing me, which you guys have been great. Thank you very much for the emails. All you got to do is email me so I can have a head count. That's all I want the email for, just so we'll know how much pizza to get everybody. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. If you email me, that'll give me a heads up. Let me know how many are coming. You can bring your wife or your kids or the whole family, whatever. That's fine. All you got to do is just let me know. That's it. Simple. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. I got people. What's funny is I don't know how they hear about it. I guess someone tells them. So I've got people emailing my other email addresses and said, hey, how do I get lined up? Just show up. But email me, ChrisX@KSEVradio.com, and you can join us for our Taxation is Theft pizza party coming up not this Friday, but the next Friday, April 11th at Russo's Pizzeria, Westheimer at Chimney Rock. We're going to be giving away, looks like 4 knives from Glenn over at Lone Star Knives, which is awesome. Glenn was telling me Chris from Lone Star Knives will be there, so he'll be there with some knives to sell. Basically, if you want to come out and, like I said, look at some of those, there he'll probably have just a few with him. But you can get the information on how to get more there, so that's good. Also, we'll have more of those tumblers from Kurt at Texas Hardwood Products. Everybody loved the tumblers, so we're going to have those. We're going to have some station swag, some T-shirts, koozies, maybe some mugs, and a few of the other things. So this is all coming up on Friday, April 11th, not this Friday, but next, for the Taxation is Theft Chris X Radio Pizza Party. You guys come on out. All you got to do is email me, ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. Tell me how many are coming. We'd love to see you. The Chris X Radio Pizza Party brought to you by Russell Metzler with Gas Product Services. Check them out online, gasproductservices.com, or call them directly at 281-798-8006. The Texas Dive Center on Dixie Farm Road near Ellington Field. Hey, if you mention the pizza party, you'll get 25% off all gear, and the scuba class, normally $450, you'll get it for $399. TXDiveCenter.com, or call them directly, 281-741-9949. RIA Advisors. Listen to The Real Investment Show. Weekday mornings at 6 right here on the Voice of Texas. For more information, check out their website, RIAadvisors.com. Also, Richard Sod with Nick's Plumbing. Nick's Plumbing can handle all of your plumbing, your gas line installation for home generators, your HVAC questions. You can call Richard Sod and Nick's Plumbing directly at 346-680-1490 or at nicksplumbing.com. That's nicksplumbing.com. And Circle S Hardware in Magnolia, offering farm supplies, fishing, bait, home improvement products, U-Haul rentals, proudly supporting all first responders and hiring veterans. Call them directly at 281-356-7970 or visit them in Magnolia, located at 27206 FM 2978. That's 27206 FM 2978, or call them directly, once again, 281-356-7970. So glad to have our wonderful sponsors. They're the ones that make sure that you're going to be able to eat a whole lot of pizza come next Friday. Well, not this Friday, but the following Friday, April 11th, from 3 to 5 p.m. Don't forget that. We had to change the time, so we got as close to as we could, the original, which is 4 to 6. But so we'll be getting in there, around 3 o'clock, going until 5 p.m., and we'll clear out of there so they can gear up for their Friday dinner crowd. But we're going to be having free pizza and giving away stuff. So once again, if you want to go, you want to attend, email me, ChrisX@KSEVradio.com to reserve your seat. Now, it's free to attend. Doesn't cost anything. I just need a head count. Let me know how many people you're bringing. And if you want to come, that's it. Done. Simple as that. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. All right, cool. Okay, so we're just getting started. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll dig into some of these issues going on. A lot of Elon Musk in the news these days. Man, when he started going after the Democrats' money laundering schemes, oh, man, they don't like that at all. They're really angry at him. In fact, they're burning up his cars, trying to torch his dealerships and all. Elon Musk, never been a violent guy in his life, but boy, they're taking down. He's a Nazi. It is so funny watching these Democrats. They literally lie about everything in order to justify their violent behavior. Isn't this political violence? Well, like January 6th. Yeah, whatever. 281-558-KSEV if you want to join us. 281-558-5738. I'm Chris X. We'll be right back. We're just getting rolling.
Call Chris X Radio now. 281-558-KSEV. 281-558-KSEV.
Have you been listening to Steve Davis on the Total Wealth Academy radio show? If not, you should be. He talks about how to generate wealth and passive income for you and your family, because that's exactly what they do at Total Wealth Academy. Steve Davis and Total Wealth Academy have been teaching people how to use real estate to build wealth, to build secondary streams of income for over 50 years now combined. So if you're just getting started, maybe you've been doing real estate for years, Total Wealth Academy will take you from where you're at today and help you start realizing rates of return that are almost unheard of in just about any other investment. Check out TotalWealthAcademy.com to get more information. You can sign up for one of their free sample classes. They've got their member spotlight nights, or they've even got online classes, so you can take one right there from the comfort of your own living room. TotalWealthAcademy.com is your first step towards achieving financial independence via real estate investing. Now, I've known Steve Davis for almost 20 years now. I've watched him teach thousands of people on how to invest in real estate. Many of them went from having no real estate to retirement using those very principles they teach at Total Wealth Academy. In my opinion, Steve Davis is the best real estate consultant in the country. He's also right here in Houston, and he can be yours. Check out TotalWealthAcademy.com to get more information. And don't forget to listen to Steve Davis on the Total Wealth Academy radio show. It airs Monday through Saturday at noon right here on the Voice of Texas. That's TotalWealthAcademy.com, and tell them Chris X sent you.
Dan Patrick for my friend Louis Flory and Ability Tree Experts.
Spring is here and summer just around the corner, which means it's time to deep root fertilize your trees in addition to spraying for insects and disease. Let Ability Trees help maintain their value and repair all damage. Fed and prune tree will be less susceptible to wind damage and uprooting. Caring for the beautiful and valuable trees on your property that you can't replace should be done by experts. And the experts I use, it's very clear. It's Ability Tree Experts and Louis Flory.
My friend for over 40 years.
Gosh, this guy is the pro when it comes to taking care of trees. You know, pruning is important for the health of your trees. And pruning limits resistance to spring storms and allows the sun and fresh air into the canopy. Trees can be in distress several months without showing any signs. So don't wait to protect your investment at 281-441-4179, 281-441-4179, or visit their website at abilitytrees.com. Right now, Ability Trees is giving a deep root feeding with every tree pruned. Ability Trees, Houston's leading tree care professional.
Plumbing emergencies emergencies never happen at a convenient time, Nix Plumbing offers free estimates and free second opinions. Call Nix Plumbing and Sewer Services, 713-868-9907, or visit us on the web, nixplumbing.com.
NPL 38548.
I've been talking for years about Chip Beresford and the Pine Box and saving money during one of life's most difficult times, the death of a loved one. Now, Chip is taking his revolutionary low-price, high-value concept to the service side of funerals and cremations with Beresford Funeral Service. Call Chip at 1-888-PINE-BOX or visit thepinebox.com. Chip not only saves people money on caskets, he now offers affordable funerals and cremations with his own funeral home. The average cost of a simple funeral today can easily exceed $10,000. At Beresford's Funeral Service, families now can save thousands of dollars on funerals and cremations without sacrificing quality or dignity. Haven't you lost enough already? When that time comes, call Chip at 1-888-PINE-BOX or visit thepinebox.com. That's Chip at 1-888-PINE-BOX or visit pinebox.com.
This is Kevin O'Hara with O'Hara & Company Real Estate. The country and the world are changing for the good. If you're watching the mainstream media, that's not the message you're getting. They've been brainwashing you for years. Dig into the real news and wake up. You were born free and freedom was given to you by God. The word government is derived from the Greek words meaning to steer a rudder. That should tell you something. God put us here to love one another no matter what race, religion, or ethnic group. And I'll admit sometimes I have a problem doing this, but I'm working on it. If you need a real estate company, call O'Hara & Company Real Estate at 281-373-3393 or look us up on the web at oharare.com. Also, if you're looking for a home builder, remodeling, patio cover, any type of construction projects, give O'Hara Homes a call at 281-373-3393. And here's my grandson.
This is Kason Martinez. God bless America and God bless Texas. One more thing. God bless my pawpaw.
The ChrisXradio Pizza Party is brought to you by RIA Advisors. Get your market update weekday mornings at 6 on The Real Investment Show with Lance Roberts. For more information, go to RIAadvisors.com. That's RIAadvisors.com.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. Chris X Radio.
This is a great video for this song, by the way. It's called I'm Afraid of Americans. It's by David Bowie, but with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. Man, they do a great job on this. The video's fantastic. It's actually like a little movie, but nonetheless, it's excellent. So feel free to go look that up and watch it and enjoy. All right, welcome back to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with Gary Bohemoth. Glad to have you here with us as we are just getting rocking and rolling here on a manic Monday. Boy, it has been manic, talking about the big pizza party coming up here in, less than 2 weeks now? Yeah, less than 2 weeks. It's set for Friday, April 11th, 3 to 5 p.m. at Russo's Pizzeria, located at 5727 Westheimer at Chimney Rocks, right there on the corner. Plenty of parking, plenty of room to go. If you want to attend, we're going to be giving away knives, Lone Star knives from Glenn. We've got more tumblers from Kurt at Texas Hardwood Products, and Station Swag will be giving stuff away. And, of course, free pizza. And last time, Rich Rosso from the Real Investment Show was there, and he bought dessert for everybody. And about half the people, probably more than half, had left. So you guys who left early missed out on the pizza. I'm sorry, not the pizza, the dessert. So, but we'll get him to... We'll see if we can get him to buy dessert again for people. But if you want to attend, ChrisX at KSEVradio.com. That's ChrisX at KSEVradio.com. Maybe celebrating a few birthdays there as well. Joyce, who attended the other pizza parties, hopefully she'll be able to attend. She just turned 92 years young last week. So, Joyce, make sure you talk to your friend, get a ride, come on out. We'll take care of Joyce for her late birthday celebration and possibly hear our next caller on the program. That's right. Let's go out to Don X out listening in Kingwood. Don, thank you for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
What's up, brother Chris? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Don?
I'm good. A good friend of mine just turned 92 on March 25th, so a few days before my birthday. So he enjoys her in the same ballpark. And always love to listen to New York Bill, like you guys have. All the other callers that call in from New York. But I turned 62 on Sunday yesterday.
That was yesterday. So yesterday, did you have a birthday gathering, or what'd you do?
I did the day before. Best birthday party I've ever had. There were over 50 people in a 180 apartment complex and 55 inactive. I had like 14 birthday cards, so much love. I've been here almost 6 years. So, just being nice and, just staying with your standards goes a long way around here and helping people out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. That's awesome. That makes everything worthwhile. You realize the love you get on your birthday. So, man, that's awesome. Now, if you really want to keep celebrating, not this coming Friday, but the next, April 11th, I'll fry you some free pizza if you want to come hang out and celebrate your birthday at the pizza party.
I will try, brother, but you're so far away. I live in Kingwood, so,
Yeah, it's a long drive from Kingwood.
In this area. I mean, it was just the best thing, but I just don't like the Houston traffic after I leave there. So, that area.
Yeah, but, that's one of those ones
one of my friends gave me a card, and it was a nice card, but she didn't even give it to me. She just left it on the table. You know what I mean? And I saw her earlier that morning, and because the party started, because we were watching the Astros game, and the Astros won, and it started cooking around 5 o'clock. Tons of food there, and everybody I've had like 5 different residents today tell me, Don, that was the best birthday party I've ever been, because I put the Super Bowl party on, best Super Bowl party they've ever had there. So I'm good at party planning, I guess. I don't know.
There's your next career, man. Be a party planner.
You never know it, but no, the other lady that moved in here a couple of years ago, she was a huge Astros fan, but I mean, this was before the election started. And I said one thing, so what do you think about who's going to win the next election? I think Trump's going to re-elect. Oh, my God. You would have thought I just, said, blasphemous things to her. I've never heard so many F-bombs talking about Trump. So what I'm getting to, these Democrats, they're all in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Oh, no, they're all absolutely in the same cult.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, they're all in the same cult. You're absolutely right. They get their talking points, and they never stray. They never stop. They never. I mean, that's just how they are.
They're all the same cult, brother. They are. That's a cult. I don't understand it. I mean, it's just like, look at Musk. I mean, he's just getting beat up. We're trying to clean up. There are other people that are there that are in the government. I mean, not government, but that work in that area. They know the abuse and the fraud. $500 million a year. $500 billion a year worth of fraud and abuse. They want to see where it's coming from, but they know where it's coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably worse than that. When it's said and done, we'll know. And the reason why so many people won't say anything, look at the treatment Elon Musk is getting. You immediately become, because he used to be a Democrat, you immediately become a Nazi, you immediately become enemy number one, and they will burn down everything you got, your business. They will demean you. They will defame you. They will, you name it. They go. It's like being in a cult. When someone leaves that cult, they go and they ruin them. And that's how they are. And the other sad part is the media is the propaganda arm for that cult, so they spread it all over. So, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, and look what happened to Chuck Schumer. I mean, he saved us from getting, the government gets shut down because he did, things to work out afterwards, and he is getting ripped on. But love your brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for always inviting me on the program. You have a blessed day. It's too humid, too. I mean, it's just way too early for this.
Yeah, boy, no kidding. Stay
God bless you, man.
Yeah, God bless you. Once again, happy birthday. Oh, you know what? I forgot to play it. I'll do this since you're heading out. Okay, so we'll give him we'll do the longer one since this is the greatest.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you. Well.
Happy birthday, dear Valen. That was for you. No, I'm glad you had an awesome party. That's wonderful. And once again, if you want to come on out from 3 to 5, April 11th, that's Friday, the next Taxation is Theft Pizza Party. If you want to attend, anybody who wants to attend, just email me, give me a head count, how many people you're bringing. You can bring your significant other or bring your children. It doesn't matter. It's like I say, come on out. We're going to be giving away some knives from Lone Star Knives, and we'll have more of those tumblers. Those tumblers were such a big hit. I had no idea how much people love those tumblers. You know, those, I think, drinks holders that keep your drinks cold or warm, I guess. I had no idea how popular those were. They were very popular, and we gave those away, so we'll have more. Like I said, we're getting new ones from Kurt over at Texas Hardwood Products, and we'll be giving away station swag, the koozies, T-shirts, and cups and things. So we'll give away a few of those as well. But I'm looking forward to it. So if you want to come on out, once again, we'll celebrate your birthday, and there may be some famous people show up. I mean, I won't mention any names, but there could be somebody as equally as famous as our guest coming up here in the next segment, like Andy Kahn from Crime Stoppers. He's the Director of Victim Services and Advocacy. I mean, there could be people like that there. You better watch out. There may be a few celebrity sightings at the next pizza party. But all you got to do if you want to attend, just email me, give me a head count, chrisx@ksevradio.com. And once again, you're invited, Don, if you want to come on out. It's early. It's 3 to 5. So if you want to come on out early and then get out early before the traffic builds up, well, we'd love to see you. I'd be happy to get you a slice of pizza for your birthday, along with Joyce, who just celebrated her 92nd years young birthday. That's incredible. I mean, that's awesome. She's 30 years older than you. And that's pretty good. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll catch up with our guest, Andy Kahn. He is, once again, Director of Victim Services and Advocacy of Crime Stoppers Houston. You would think the crime alone would keep him busy enough. But no, he's headed up to the Capitol. He's up there working on passing laws to try to protect victims. What a concept, huh? It seems like the more laws we come up with to protect victims, the more ways Democrats figure out how to let people out of prison to create more victims. It's crazy. We'll talk with Andy Kahn on the other side. Don't you go anywhere. You're listening to Chris X Radio. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Chris X Radio on AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas.
Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore. I like having choices, and I bet you do too. So if you need AC, plumbing, or electrical repairs, you both have to know the problem. So we'll send a tech to check it out. No charge. It won't tell you what to do. It'll discuss options together, so you can choose a solution within your budget. Maybe you just want a temporary fix, or options for a longer-term solution. There's comfort in having choices. John Moore.
You know, where we go in life matters, and what we do matters, and we know that taking the wrong road won't produce the best outcomes. Hi, I'm Kathy with Baker Mortgage, and we want you to take the right path when it comes to your mortgage. You know, we live in a world of information overload, but always consider the source, and these are not generally going to be from your big bank or a random offer that comes across your screen. Remember, you're always going to get a better deal on one that you go looking for than one that comes looking for you. You need to deal with somebody who gives a you-know-what, whether or not you're happy in the end. At Baker Mortgage, we do it right. We haven't been around for 68 years because we're lucky. We don't sell CDs, insurance, or anything else. We just provide a great mortgage experience. Isn't that what you're looking for? Call us at Baker Mortgage. I promise you'll be glad you did. We're at 281-313-MOVE or go directly to bakermortgage.com.
Equal housing lender. License number 263213.
Money Matters with Steve Drake.
I'm taking notes. I want to write things down so I know what's going on. You know, when the telemarketers hang up on you, it is a lonely, lonely, lonely life.
Now Mondays through Thursdays at 11 a.m. till noon here on AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas.
This report sponsored by Gallery Furniture. If made in America is important to you, come to Gallery Furniture. Buy it today, get it today. Gallery Furniture saves you money.
From the KSEV Weather Center, clear to partly cloudy and mild tonight, the low down to 64. After a morning shower Tuesday, it'll be breezy with a strong thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, a high of 81. Then Wednesday, windy, warm, and humid with a mix of clouds and sun. Winds could be locally damaging as they'll be gusting past 50 miles an hour with a high of 85. A thunderstorm in spots on Thursday morning, otherwise windy and humid with clouds and sun, the high of 88. With the KSAB Weather Center forecast, I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina.
When an arsonist burned down Gallery Furniture North Freeway on May 21st, 2009, we moved into Gallery Furniture Post Oak the next day and kept selling furniture and delighting customers. We've been at Gallery Furniture Post Oak now for over 16 years. Now it's time to close, and the Gallery Furniture Post Oak store closing means giant savings at every department at Gallery Furniture Post Oak, Gallery Furniture North Freeway, Gallery Furniture in Richmond, and GalleryFurniture.com. Biggest store closing sale ever at Gallery Furniture. Bargains in all 3 stores and online. Buy today, get it free tonight.
And now, back to Chris X Radio on the Voice of Texas.
Welcome back to Chris X Radio. Glad to have you here with us as we are rocking, halfway through the first hour. We got a second hour lined up for you as well. It's time to catch up with our guest, one of our regular here on the program, one of our good friends, Andy Kahn. He is the Director of Victim Services and Advocacy at Crime Stoppers of Houston. But that's not all he goes. He goes all over the country, and that includes our state capitol, working on legislation to try to help protect victims and get less of them. Andy, always great to have you here. Thanks for being here today.
Hey, you betcha, Chris. Actually, I'm actually going to go propose a new law that will actually increase punishment, and the punishment will be you have to drive up and down I-10 between Sealy and Columbus all day long.
Oh man, that would be better than prison. I think you're absolutely right. And it's about the same amount of mileage too, depending on how far you get per hour.
Nah, that'll cure crime. So. Yeah, it's I've been back and forth to Austin the last month or so, heading back tonight. I have a real quirky bill tomorrow. It always stems from a story. And this one, you'll appreciate this. About a year ago, I was asked by a victim's family. The offender was being released on parole, and they wanted to know what the rules and conditions were. It's an obvious request, right? So I contacted CDCJ. And I said, I'd like a copy of the parole certificate. And I was told, sorry, Mr. Kahn, we can't provide you with that. It's considered confidential information. I went, you're kidding me. Get it real. And I said, all right, fine. You won't give me the parole certificate. I'll get a bill file that mandates it is public information. And I'm going, wait a second. If an offender is on probation, you can know the rules and conditions. If they're out on bond, you can know the rules and conditions. But you're telling me if someone's on parole, and by definition that means they're still under state custody, you can't know? So that's what I'm testifying on tomorrow.
And I know that's not all you're doing, or not all you've been doing, because I know you've been back and forth up there a few times. Is it just an oversight, or did someone make a conscious effort to do this? This seems crazy. You would absolutely want to know if these people, who once again are being supervised by the state under their release, I guess, if they've got a record or exactly what are the conditions.
Just give me the damn parole certificate. It's no big deal. What am I going to do with it? Sell it? I'm going to go have a parade and jump up and down. Okay, but if you want to get into a pissing contest with me, I'll be more than happy. And so, if you want a state law that mandates it, I'll give you that as well. So,
man, and thank God for it. We're talking with Andy Kahn, the victims Director of Victim Services and Advocacy over at Crime Stoppers of Houston. I know you've been doing this over 30 years now, Andy. I just heard, I was listening to the Amigos on Friday, and they were talking about some of the stuff that you were doing up at the Capitol. There's other legislation you've been working on. You've been up there, a few times now?
I've been up there. I think I'm homesteading up there lately on that as well. So, again, we're back with a constitutional amendment to allow Texas voters, you and I and everyone else listening, the right to decide whether judges should have discretion, keyword discretion, not to grant bond to defendants charged with certain violent crimes. You remember the horrific murder, sexual assault, kidnapping of 12-year-old Jocelyn Hungary. Yep. And that caused an outrage when the judge had to give a bond. But you know what? He had to. And albeit it was high, but the bottom line is he had no choice. We want to give judges the discretion. And in order to do that, it's not a simple majority. We need Democrat support. And for whatever reason, the last two sessions, it has not been supported. In the entire state of Texas, Chris, we need 12 Democrats to vote for this. And I'm sorry, I don't see why you wouldn't want to vote for it. And to me, if you don't want to vote for it, to me, it's voter suppression because you're not allowing Texas voters the right to decide whether this is a good bill or a bad bill.
Now, Andy, are these making it through the Senate and then going to the House and dying? Is that what's happening?
That's what's happened every time, and here we are again. We testified in committee a few weeks ago, and it's still pending in the committee. I don't know what's to pend. I mean, I don't know how you can't vote it out of the committee and get it to the House, and then let's duke it out there. But right now, it remains there, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But for the life of me, I will never understand. Even Democrat judges have told me we need discretion. Who wouldn't want it? Why wouldn't you want to have discretion? I just, for the life of me, can't figure this one out.
No, once again, like you say, it often boggles the mind, and here it is on the legislative level. And for the life of me, I can't figure this out as well. They just, like you said, we need 12 Democrats. I don't know exactly what the deal is with getting people to. It seems like this would be simple enough. Everybody should be for something like this. But once again, you know what? I guess
there's a great quote by Senator Royce West, a Democrat out of Dallas. And the Senate actually voted this 29-2. And the Senator says it's not a Democrat issue, it's not a Republican issue, it's a public safety issue. And you can't get it any simpler stated than that.
No, you're absolutely right. And this ties in with something that you have been dealing with for years here, especially as of late, because we've been talking about it repeatedly, is these criminals that are out on bond or out on, PR bond or whatever, that continue to break the law over and over again, yet they continually get let out. I saw the story you covered, what was it, last week, I guess, about the guy that had the crash into the bayou and then ran off and left his kids and his wife at the scene, and turned out he was out on a PR bond.
He was out on multiple bonds, one of them PR bond. He has multiple felony convictions. He's been into prison multiple times, and yet I'm going, how on earth can you grant someone a get-out-of-jail-free card? It's fairly obvious he's a risk to the public. He's a risk to community safety. I mean, what goes through your mind when you have someone with a lengthy criminal history? A PR bond was meant for someone that doesn't have a lengthy criminal record, hasn't been to prison, isn't a repeat offender, and yet they gave this guy a PR bond. And that was in February. And you can see how that worked out, because 1 month later, he's, driving kids into the bayou. How these kids are still alive? Because in February, he was charged with felony DWI, endangering a child, because guess what? He had his kids in the car while he was driving drunk. Yet you saw fit to give him a PR bond.
Once again, this is where, when it comes to these judges, or I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like you said,
a lot of it, Chris, to be frank with you, a lot of it is magistrates. And that's one thing that, Randy Wallace from Fox News and I have been doing the Breaking Bond segments, before we even had cars. I think that's how long we've been doing this right now. And that's the one trend that we have noticed, that a majority of personal recognizance, PR, get-out-of-jail-free cards are magistrate-driven. These are unelected officers of the court, and that's kind of where the buck stops, because that's where the defendant first meets up to determine whether or not a bond has been issued or not. And somewhere down the road, I haven't decided yet, I do have some numbers that are absolutely will blow everyone away, because we got a whole numbers of defendants that are being released on PR bonds for the last 5 years. Okay. And that's by magistrates.
Okay, that would be good information, because I know we've talked about it enough. I can't even imagine how big that list is at this point, because you've been covering this on this program for at least 6 years now, and you've been covering a lot longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where everything kind of got started on this, and then, we've been doing the Breaking Bond segments on local Fox News for 4.5 years. And, you've been around the media. Obviously, I've been around the media. That is unheard of, particularly in TV news, to have a weekly segment on a single subject for that long. And we never run out of stories to do. They're all different every week. That is unheard of.
It really is. For one, it doesn't happen in the news business very often, but two, for it to run this long, and three, the fact that you've never had to repeat ever, and you've never run out of stories. And unfortunately, sadly enough, we don't see that happening anytime soon. One of the things that, the amigos were talking about, and I know you may have just touched on this just a few minutes ago, was, a couple of weeks ago you were up there and you were working on this bill that was authored, if I remember correctly, by Senator Betancourt, which was the death penalty to be eligible for anyone who murders a child.
Senate Bill 990. Yeah, Senate Bill 990. Yeah.
Okay, so you were up there, and the Senate voted it through. It was like 26-5, but there were 5 no votes, and one of them was a Houston Senator, Molly Cook, who voted against this. Have you heard from any of the senators that voted against this, or heard of any of the reasons why they would vote against giving the death penalty to someone who murders a child between the ages of 10 and 15 years old?
No, quite frankly, and Senator Cook, for whatever reason, is also one of the two no votes on the constitutional amendment to give judges discretion not to grant bond as well. So this is the first time we've had a Houston senator actually been voting against these provisions. I don't know. You feel free to reach out to her. I'd love to hear her explanation as to why she doesn't. And again, it's not a mandate. It's simply allowing the district attorney, if they so choose, to seek the death penalty. And I think anyone who murders a child, especially between the ages of 0 and 15, if the DA feels strongly enough to seek the death penalty, then they should have the ability to do so. And so Senator Betancourt's bill will give them, for whatever reason, the ages of 10 to 15 were excluded. I don't know why. That's another day and another show. But Senator Betancourt, thanks to what happened with Jocelyn Nungaray, we discovered that glitch. And as I told Jocelyn's mother, Alexis, Jocelyn's going to be a catalyst for change, and she is.
Yeah, that is good news, and hopefully that can get passed. And from, I guess, and in her case, the terrible people that did what they did to her, they're also accused of sexual assault as well. So the death penalty is on the table for those guys.
Yeah, the DA has indicated they are seeking the death penalty, but originally that took time to establish whether another offense was committed in the act of murdering Jocelyn Nungaray. So what the bill does, you don't have to have an additional offense like robbery, sexual assault, or kidnapping. If you simply murder a child under the age of 15, you are eligible for the death penalty if this provision passes. Right now, if you're 10 or younger, you're eligible. This would just add the 10 to 15.
Yeah, for the life of me, I can't figure out how this happened, but you're right, 10 to 15 years old, they weren't eligible, and in her case, they were because of the different extenuating crimes, but now there doesn't have to be, well, let me rephrase it, if this bill goes through and gets passed, there won't be a reason for additional crimes in order for that to be possible. Finally, I guess before we run out of time, we have a new district attorney in Harris County now. It's Sean Tier. There was about a week or so ago, they're sort of going through and making things like criminal trespassing and things really laxed on the law. In other words, it's illegal, but it's not illegal. We're not even going to really bother anymore. Do you see this, the new district attorney, heading more in that sort of, judicial activism role, or do you think he's going to be any better than, say, our last one?
Chris, to be honest with you, it's really too early to tell. You're only, 3 months into an administration. So I'll put it like this. I'll remain cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, no, that's what we can hope for. But, I mean, we've seen it, unfortunately, so many times down the road now. And I know Kim Ogg turned it around on a lot of things, and in many ways, she did a good job as far as getting people from both sides of the aisle to agree on, hey, we're going after these, certain criminals. But then again, we'll just say we live in strange times, and that's for sure. Andy, I always appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for going up to the Capitol and fighting for these people who don't have a voice anymore. I appreciate what you've done for over 30 years, and keep up the great work, my friend.
All right, you owe me 2 slices of pizza now. Deal?
Oh, you know what? I'll get you 3 or 4. You going to be able to make it next Friday?
As far as I know, unless something miraculous happens, like I win the Powerball or Mega Millions, I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. Well, you know what? If you won the Powerball and Mega Millions, I won't be there. I'll be there with you wherever you end up going. So.
Fair enough.
But we'll save some slices for you. I look forward to seeing you again. And like I said, we'll reach out to maybe get some other celebrities, but no bigger celebrity, in my opinion, than Andy Kahn. Andy, thanks for being here. I always appreciate your time.
You bet. Take care, Chris.
You too. Take care. Once again, Andy Kahn, the Director of Victim Services and Advocacy at Crime Stoppers of Houston's. It's crime-stoppers.org. And the guy's been doing this for so long. And he has such a good disposition for it. I don't know how he maintains and I very seldom see Andy get angry. I mean, he gets mad, of course, but he just always keeps his cool and he stays focused. And boy, there's plenty to focus on these days. So I always appreciate Andy Kahn's time. And once again, like I said, Pizza Party coming up next Friday. Not this Friday, but Friday, April 11th, 3 to 5 p.m. at Russo's Pizzeria. Hopefully Andy can make it out. That'd be great. I know he was at one of them before. The others he wasn't able. Usually when you throw pizza Andy's way, he's coming. He'll be there. He doesn't often turn down pizza. And I'll make sure there's plenty for him and you and everybody else. If you want to attend the pizza party as well, just email me, chrisx@kscvradio.com. Let me know how many you're bringing. That's all we need to do. That's all I got to do. Just need to know how many so we can know how much pizza to get for everybody. All right, let's take a short break. You're listening to Chris X Radio. We'll open up the phones on the other side as well. 281-558-KSEV. That's 281-558-5738.
Chris X Radio. Texas born, Texas raised. The voice of Texas.
Plumbing emergencies never happen at a convenient time. Usually they happen on the weekends, holidays, or while you're away on vacation. I'm Richard Sod, president of Nick's Plumbing. When you find yourself facing a plumbing emergency, call the licensed and experienced professionals at Nick's Plumbing and Sewer Services. Nick's Plumbing has been Houston's first choice for all your plumbing needs since 1979. Our experts can take your most difficult plumbing issues and fix them fast, fix them right, and usually for less than you'd expect. Nick's Plumbing and Sewer Services is the right choice for any plumbing job, from a leaky faucet, whole house repipe, or a complete sewer line replacement. You can count on Nick's Plumbing to do the job right. With over 40 years in business and over 150,000 satisfied customers, Nick's wants to be your plumbing company. Nick's Plumbing offers free estimates and free second opinions. Call Nick's Plumbing and Sewer Services, 713-868-9907, or visit us on the web, nicksplumbing.com.
NPL 38548.
Call Nick's Plumbing today. We're on the way.
Everyone knows the BBB is the Better Business Bureau, but depending on what you need, it's the Better Plumber Bureau, the Better Auto Mechanic Bureau, the Better Accountant Bureau. That's because the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better check that business out first so you don't get ripped off bureau. Be smart. Always look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Checo Pro Joe here. Join me every Saturday at 1 p.m. for my radio show. My guest this week will be Cody Johnson from Garage Door Doctor. For all of your garage door needs, contact Garage Door Doctor at 281-343-3632.
And now, we return you to your regularly scheduled dose of common sense. Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio.
I kind of want to just keep rocking out. Oh, man, Kunta Kinte. Toby's going to be there. All right. Yeah, I'll pencil you in. But I'm not going to call you Toby. It's Kunta Kinte. You really have to be an old timer to get that joke. If you don't. All right. Welcome back to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man along with Gary Bohemoth. He has assumed control of the airwaves. He'll maintain control here for another hour. That's right. We're wrapping things up this segment, and then we'll be back for our second hour. So we roll Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m., and then the Amigos take over on Friday. I was talking with Gary during the break. Yeah, the judge was back in studio on Friday. Actually, you heard he was in studio, and I heard him and Ben kind of going at it a little bit. Ben seemed exceptionally ready to go after him, but then they were all, oh, by the way, I'll just mention, I was very happy. But they were happy because they're eating pizza, because Jimmy X buys them pizza. Those such whiners. But I got to give, Ben gave a nice plug for the pizza party, so I give credit to Ben Strusan for doing that. So I appreciate it. And those guys have been getting pizza on the radio for 25 years, man. People have been buying them pizza like they're somehow going to be left out because of our little pizza party on Fridays. This will be our fourth pizza party. I think they've got that many pizzas bought for them in the last year alone. So, anyway, I went Joe Biden. So, anyway. But they got pizza and all kinds of stuff, so they were eating the whole time, which I don't blame them. I would be too. The pizza is delicious. I don't know hey, Gary, where did the pizza come from? Did you ever see what location it was from? I don't remember. Okay, I can't remember if it was Russo's or somewhere different. Maybe been somewhere closer to the station. But our pizza party's at Russo's Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria, which, by the way, not only is the pizza fantastic, their Italian food is money. It is good. Our next pizza party, so I'm telling you about it. It's coming up next Friday, April 11th. Not this coming Friday, but the next. It'll be at, of course, Russo's Pizzeria, located at 5727. That's right there on the corner of Westheimer and Chimney Rock. We're going to be having free pizza. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres. We'll have fun. We're going to have socializing. We're going to give stuff away. If you want to attend, all you have to do is email me and just let me know how many are coming. If you want to bring your significant other or you want to bring your family, or that's fine. Plenty of room there for everyone. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. That way you can go ahead and reserve your seat, and we'll make sure we know exactly how many people to get pizza for. If you don't text us and come, or you don't email and come, then you may miss out. You may miss out on pizza. But we don't want you to miss out, so just email me, ChrisX@KSEVradio.com. It is our Taxation is Theft pizza party. That's right, because tax day is coming up the following week on the 15th, 4 days later. So we're going to celebrate. They can't tax you on free pizza, right? No, they can't do that. Okay, so you come get some free pizza and hang out, have a good time. We'll be giving away, I think, 4 knives from Glenn at Lone Star Knives. So we got those. We've got more tumblers from Kurt over at Texas Hardwood Products. The last ones were awesome. They were the fight ones with Trump on them. I don't know what's going to be on these. I really don't know. I just know that when he sends them, they're awesome. And people loved. I didn't know how much See, I'm not a tumbler guy. I don't really carry a tumbler around with me. But, man, I know a ton of other people that do. They love them. So, sure enough, they were very popular. So I'm sure they will be very popular again. So that's fantastic. So we're going to have more tumblers from Kurt over at Texas Hardwood Products. If you want to go check out what they've got, they got great stuff. So that's coming up, Friday, April 11th from 3 to 5 p.m. We got a little earlier in the afternoon, but nonetheless, you want to get out, kick off the weekend a little early. It's kind of what we do. And Rich Rosso from Real Investment Advisors, last time he was there, he bought everybody dessert. I had no idea how freaking good their desserts are at Russo's Pizzeria. Because by the time I'm done eating, I hardly ever eat dessert. I'm always full, so I can hardly ever do it. So I've got to make a point. If I'm going to eat dessert, I've got to figure out how to go get the dessert so I can enjoy it. Those desserts were amazing. So first of all, shout out and props to Rich Rosso from Real Investment Advisors. And I think Rich is going to be there again. trying to get him to come on out again, make sure he comes out. He's fun. Rich is a super nice guy and also very smart. He's fun to talk to. And he writes like movies and stuff. So he's going to write a movie called The ChrisXradio Pizza Party, starring Tom Hanks. So there you go. Okay, so we just killed the first hour. We're done. All right, hour number 2 is locked and loaded. Now I'm going to actually get into, Elon Musk saying that Doge is going to be looking into many members of Congress and how they became so rich on a congressman's salary. Nancy Pelosi became very, very rich. I love how they attack rich people, and they're rich. And they got rich off your tax dollars. How did that happen? Not Elon Musk. So look at that. And then, of course, there were all those takedown protests over the weekend. We're learning that people are being paid to protest. We'll talk about that in hour number 2 as well. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.